everyone. I hope all of you are doing very well. And we have taken part 1 and 2 of the story of Joseph. And in part 1 and 2, Joseph was a 17-year-old. Ang pengpan manjit faithful, obedient child. Child bukat na chanameng. That is why his father loved him, but his brothers hated him. And his brothers tried to kill him also. But then they sold him to Ammonites, also called as Ishmaelites, and they again sold him to a person called Potiphar. And in Potiphar's house, he was a servant. Raja kiyango tao mga wanta Potiphar soko ngawle Joseph was put in jail. He did not commit any crime. He did not do anything wrong, but he was put in jail because Potiphar's wife lied to her husband. And even in jail, he was an obedient person. He was an obedient child. That is why when the warden of the jail liked him, and God was with him. Tawgi ngo wanta nicha Pharaoh ang pa Egypt ang pa I kingdom I under him cupbearer and the baker ang pa wanchon pa hayang ang pa haing ling po pa imnia ang pa kaya amengling. Tawgi lingo wanta lingay wanta ang pa imita mongsi ang imita God king was offended and the king put them to jail. They put them in the same jail where Joseph was placed. Taukia ngowante yacha mi the mang chabong mang, and they were worried, they were concerned about the dream that they got. Taukia ngowanta Joseph interpreted their dream because they were in the same dream, and they narrated the dream to Joseph. So Joseph interpreted the dream to them, and according to the interpretation, the baker haing lingpon iya ang pa ita tuilak. By the order of the king, he will be killed. And the cupbearer will be restored to the same position. Cupbearer ada wanchon pa pataba, yelak pa ida pa ang pawanchon pa na natamlak sa taukia interpret na me. Tauki mo just as Joseph has interpreted the dream that exactly happened. The baker was killed by the order of the king, and the cupbearer was restored to his old position as again the cupbearer of king. Taukia ang. Taukia ngo paima wang penyi paima the king himself. Pharaoh, he had a dream, and in his dream he was standing by the river Nile. Here, Nile yang ching na mi yong ngo tau kia ngo wanta mahu nat pu mahu nyit ngai hang imana hang ha ngo 7 healthy cows were grazing the grass by the river Nile. Tau kia ngo wanta nunu suppose mahu nyit ngai 7 ugly unhealthy cows came up, and then they ate up the 7 healthy cows. Nunu po mahu nita sanat po mahu nita ha win taukia mang maimang. And the king woke up and he was very worried, and he slept again. And when he slept back again, he had a dream. In his second dream, in a single stalk there were 7 grains. Tan ekta latide stem ekta grains atawlaishe 7 grains, and then in another stem 7 ugly grains. First one was the healthy grains, and the second one was the ugly grains. And the ugly grains ate up the healthy grains. Taukia imang mang. Taukia ngowante iya lawang iya. He was very worried. He was very concerned. And the next day onwards, he started calling up all the wise men and the magicians of the land of Egypt. Egypt katok mongo po singaman palan magician lan ki po imanta nyet yang imanta iching dreamer interpret meng lak chena se mang lapatam lak chena se I. Upon none of them could interpret the dream of the king Pharaoh. Tauki ngo wanta yung mong sang ngo wanta his cupbearer wanchon pa, he remembered what happened in the jail, that both he and the baker had a dream, and how Joseph interpreted the dream, and the dream came true. Tauki remember na meng yang ang patato ang patato chayanga he's the king, the Pharaoh sent for Joseph, and he was taken out from the jail. Hayanga Joseph hui pa itam yang itan namano yang yung amayanga ni mo ala payanga. He was dressed well, he was shaved, and then he was prepared well, and he was placed before the king. Tauki payanga king ang pa ita he narrated the dream that he had, how a 7 ugly cow ate up the 7 healthy cow, and the 7 unhealthy grains ate up the 7 healthy grains. Ato Joseph tato each dreamer I wonder Joseph interpreted the dream. Joseph atau manga lepatam ayanga I po atau mangnia, they are the same. The 2 dreams that he dreamed are the same, and accordingly the 7 healthy cows and the 7 healthy grains means the 7 prosperous years that the Egypt will have. Pangpeng nita Egypt katok mahaying wangman taulak yang imana rich prosperous tauki ngolak. Taupay mo the 7 ugly cow and the 7 ugly grains, that unhealthy grains that ate up the healthier ones, means that pangpeng nit imana prosperous na healthy na imana haying wangman na to ngawan pay ma pangpeng nita imana nyawli ngolak imana sinyaw yang libuhipak cha ngolak. They will be in a famine. Tauki ngolak sa Joseph daw mga lapatam. And Joseph told him that kawang daw farawang pa daw mang hautam meaning Egypt mapu wise person lan daw experts lan ya pa yang imanta daw hangka prepare the menglak for the 7 years of famine, the upcoming 7 years of famine tauching na in the 7 years of prosperity hangki prepare the menglak atau nang daw hautam po ngonang sa Joseph daw on the ang pa. The king Pharaoh appointed Joseph himself as the governor of Egypt, and he was put in charge of overall that preparation for the 7 years of famine. Tauki ang yang Joseph wang pengit ma, he kept the extra food, extra grains, extra everything in the stock for the next 7 years of famine. Ang pengit iman sinyaw yang lipuhipak ngaila kataw ching na si ima iya tamatawang anga in the first 7 years of prosperity tauki ang. And true to the dreams and true to the just as Joseph has interpreted the dream, after the 7 years of prosperity, the 7 years of famine came. And ato wang pengit ato mana sinyaw yang libo famine hipak mongwanta alaw nyi mabukata lanu Egypt katong mapu ato haying shaklak chinese which they had stored in the first 7 years ato haying shaklak chinese pay ato pay yang wanta Joseph atau yaw yang iman tapayang atau kia iman kat he was keeping the people alive in that way. And just like people were coming, his own brothers and his father heard about the prosperity, the stock, the food grains that Egypt had and that they were selling. Although chayang ipa Jacob ichailanta tayang Egypt mapato haying shaklak chinese shown. Now his brothers and his father did not know that the very governor was the very son of Jacob, and their own brothers, his elder brothers, did not know that it was their own brothers whom they sold. Atau Joseph tanya governor na mengyang atau ki Egypt mangunang si man yeshing boy idang ta daw haying shaklak sinasata. And when he went, Joseph recognized them. The story is a little long, achinga lawangonang, but just to cut short, tumana mamsu sholak sinasa. Cut short mengunang tumana physical class when we start we will go to the detail, but for now Joseph ichelan the shingya and ichelan the younger, his brothers were ashamed, they were sorry, and then they could not face Joseph, but Joseph forgave them, and then Joseph brought a land also for them, and then he also called up his youngest brother and his father, and then they were led to stay in a place in Egypt. Here, that is the story of Joseph, and from that story we have learned that just like Joseph, who was an obedient child, and although he was mistreated by his brothers, although he was tried to be killed by his brothers, and he was even sold, and even though he was a servant, and he was also in jail, but he was an obedient child, and because of his obedient child, because he was faithful, God was with him, and God blessed him. In our life, if we stay faithful, if we are obedient to God, then God will always be with us, and God will always protect us, and God will always bless us. That is what we have learned from this story. And next time we will come up with we will start with another interesting stories. Let's see what that will be. So until then, stay safe and God bless you all.